Acura keeps sending forget-me-nots. First came the second-generation Acura NSX, a 573 HP mid-engine, sign that the brand had been working on itself, made some big changes, and wanted to have a heart-to-heart talk about performance. Now, the 2021 TLX Type S sports sedan has arrived at our doorstep. And its 355 HP V6 and torque vectoring all-wheel drive system are the kind of wooing that totally works on us. Not to be confused with the relatively mild-mannered 272 HP TLX introduced last year. The Type S brings back Acura's high-performance line. Set up for use on the street and not necessarily with track driving in mind, that's where the brand's Type R moniker comes in. The TLX Type S is intended to compete with the Audi S4s, BMW M340is, and Cadillac CT5 Versys of the world, not more extreme RS models, M cars, or Blackwings. Here the 2021 Acura TLX's new turbo V6 strong acceleration and only a hint of low RPM turbo lag is our first impression of the TLX's V6. Engineers assure us that this DOHC V6 is a new design, sharing only its bore spacing with older Honda Acura engines. A single twin-scroll turbo feeds the cylinders with 15.1 psi of boost to reduce the height of the engine. The cam cover now incorporates the upper camshaft bearing. It saves space, reduces the number of parts, and makes us wonder why this hasn't been done in the nearly 120 years of overhead cam engines. Acura's all-wheel drive system puts the power down with zero fuss, and the conventional 10-speed automatic transmission flutters through its gears imperceptibly. A rush of turbocharged torque at low engine speeds helps keep the gearbox from having to hunt for lower gears on hilly freeways. Power builds aggressively, and the surge is eye-opening. But the V6 is working against a claimed 4,200-pound curb weight. We'll fit our test equipment to a Type S soon, but our calibrated Levi's say 60 miles per hour should fall somewhere in the mid-4-second range. A few turns of the TLX's thick-rimmed steering wheel, and it's obvious that the Type S is more than about going straight. Thanks in part to Acura's return to a control arm front suspension in place of the previous struts. There's a sweetness and liveliness to this car's steering and turn-in that makes it seem lighter than its curb weight. Grip levels from the optional 255 35ths R20 Pirelli P0s are high. Opting for those $800 summer tires also scores you NSX-inspired 20-inch wheels that save a little more than 5 pounds per corner compared to the standard alloys. Slightly wider and longer than the German competition that it's priced against, the TLX is about the length and width of an Audi A6 or BMW 5 Series. While the added width means that the TLX doesn't seem as nimble as its smaller rivals, the body control is excellent. Compared to the regular TLX, Acura fits 40% stiffer front springs and larger anti-roll bars front and rear. Acura's all-wheel drive system overdrives the rear end to give the Type S a rear drive attitude when you're hard on the throttle. Punch the gas out of corners and the system resists power understeer by shifting torque rearward, which then is split side to side by its torque vectoring rear differential to create a rear steer effect. Basically, just stomp the accelerator and the TLX does all the hard math to turn your foot's request into speed. Hitting the brake pedal erases speed quickly and confidently. An electrically assisted brake booster is tuned to provide a very firm pedal with good bite, while the minimal brake pedal travel takes some getting used to. After a few miles we're adjusted and appreciative. The front rotors measure 14.3 inches, 1.3 inches larger than the regular TLX, and are grabbed by 4 piston calipers. Acura had us play at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for a few laps to fully experience the all-wheel drive system in a safe environment. But in the interest of surviving journalistic abuse on a road course, those on-track TLXs were fitted with track-oriented pads that Acura promises to recommend to interested customers. Back on the street and fitted with the stock pads, the brakes didn't show any signs of fade on brief canyon road blasts. Set the Type S's dynamic control knob to Sport Plus mode and its adaptive dampers tighten up and react more quickly to inputs from accelerometers at each corner. Sport Plus also makes the car more apt to rotate around corners by upping the rear steer effect of the torque vectoring rear end. The 10-speed also responds better in